Hello, my name is Hector Ortiz, and I'm here to talk about English pronunciation. To be more precise, I'm going to discuss a very important problem, that one that concerns the English sounds which make communication intelligible. To be more precise, I shall be talking about different aspects of the problem. First of all, I will be describing, identifying, and classifying these sounds, and later on, we shall be examining ways in which we can talk about how to produce them, and we shall be having, at the end of the talk, some oral practice. To be more precise then, I want to talk about a notion which is called the phoneme. This is a very technical term, probably, but the thing is, there are several definitions of the phoneme. Some of them are more theoretical than others, but we as teachers of English can benefit from a notion, a definition rather, which is easier to understand, something which is more practical. I wonder if you remember what a phoneme is. Well, this is one of the possible definitions, something practical, as I was saying, a unit of sound which can convey differences in meaning. This is a very functional, very practical definition. What do we mean by a unit of sound, as the definition goes? Is it just one sound? In other words, is a phoneme one sound? Well, the answer is no. A phoneme is rather a group of sounds, or if you prefer, a family of sounds. This is a very important notion in language teaching. It simply means that if two sounds can be used to differentiate words, we say that these two sounds belong to two different phonemes. Let's have a look at the following examples. Here I have a sentence which is written in ordinary spelling, sit on a seat, and also I have it in phonetic transcription. I don't know whether you are familiar with symbols. I hope you are. Anyway, this is how it reads. It says, sit on a seat. Why do we say that the first vowel, the one on sit, why do we say that the first vowel, the one in sit, is a different phoneme from the one in seat? Why do we say, in other words, that these are two different phonemes in English? Because they convey differences in meaning. The first word, sit, is a verb. It means sentarse. The second word, seat, is a noun, and it means asiento. So you can tell somebody to sit on a seat and not on the floor, for example. Let's have it again. Sit on a seat. Sit on a seat. The next slide tells you precisely what I've been trying to explain, that E and E are contrastive in English. This is another way of saying the same thing, that these two vowels are different phonemes. They are contrastive. And we have them there again. Sit with vowel number 2, we call it, and seat is vowel number 1. This is another thing that we phoneticians and teachers of phonetics and pronunciation talk about a lot. Sounds, phonemes, have numbers. I'm talking about the vowels. Let's have a look now at another couple of sounds in English. This is another sentence. It's been transcribed, but if I say it, you may be able to understand it. I hope so. The first sentence says, show me your back. Okay? Show me your back. Show me your back, please. Show me your back. The second sentence says, show me your bag. Show me your bag. Show me your back. show me your bag. So the conclusion here is that if you can understand two different meanings, and they do have different meanings, show me your back means, for example, muéstrame tu espalda, and show me your bag can be translated as muéstrame tu bolso. So in conclusion, we say k and g, the symbols are there, are different phonemes in English. They are also contrastive in English, as they are in Spanish, by the way. Here we have, on the next slide, the transcriptions of the words which we can call minimal sets or a minimal pair. We say that back and bag are minimal pairs or minimal sets. These two pairs of words have only one difference in terms of sound, and this is the last phoneme, the last segment. Now, the thing is, not all sounds can function in this way. Not all sounds are contrastive. That is, not all sounds can differentiate meanings. Sometimes there are small shades of sound. There are sounds which are very much like other sounds, and they are incapable of producing these changes in meaning. Let's have another example to show this. Okay, this is a sentence, a very short sentence saying, I was late. I was late. You can pronounce I was late in two different ways, for instance. The first one is that, I was late. But the second one is I was late, with a different kind of L. I was late. First we have I was late, and then I was late. Now, to an English ear, these two words are exactly the same word from the point of view of meaning. We can say that late is the normal pronunciation, the usual pronunciation from a British speaker. And late, with the second kind of L, the L which we draw with a little squiggle across it, is pronounced late. And that is the pronunciation in American English in most cases. Let's say them again. I was late. I was late. These then are not different phonemes in English. In technical terms, we say that these two different types of L sound are allophones of the same phoneme. And now I've just introduced another notion, the notion of allophone. An allophone can simply be described or defined. An allophone can simply be defined as varieties of the same phoneme. As in this case, L and L are allophones of one single phoneme. We've been using symbols to indicate phonemes and allophones. I want to teach you a convention that we phoneticians use to write phonemes and allophones. Very often they are exactly the same symbol, so we have to use a different convention to make the difference. So we have to use a convention to make the difference legible, to make it clear to everybody who knows how to read transcription. Look at the following. We say that k and g, the first two sounds, are really different phonemes in English. But the last two, repito, but the other two are not different phonemes. L and L are allophones of the same phoneme. So we write phonemes in slant lines and we write allophones in square brackets. It is clear then that for purposes of intelligibility, we must consider phonemes the first priority. We have to concentrate on phonemes rather than on allophones at the beginning. The next task is to make a list of all those sounds which can function contrastively in English, all those phonemes of the language, those which can change the meanings of words. And we shall begin by listing the pure vowels. Let's begin with the pure vowels, then with the diphthongs, and then with the consonants. First, let's then consider vowels, as I say. Well, there are 12